This over here is the Tiggo 8 Pro 1.6, and I think it's one of the best equipped 7-seater family cars in its class. Now, we've done a full review of this car before. If you haven't seen it yet, you can click on the link above. In this video, we're going to focus on what makes it stand out this 2023 and how it compares to other 7-seater crossovers in the same class. So, is it worth your money? Let's find out. When the Tiggo 8 Pro was launched last year, it stood out in that it was the most feature-packed and arguably one of the most luxurious 7-seater crossovers in its price bracket, offering full ADAS features when none of its 7-seater competitors did. Back then though, the price seemed a bit steep, as everything Chinese then sold for 1.3 billion pesos and below. Now the landscape has changed quite a bit. The Okavango, its main Chinese competitor, now sells for 1.76 million pesos, a huge increase from its initial 1.4 million peso price tag. The Ford Territory is also now a lot more expensive at 1.6 million. You also have the GAC Coupe, which sells for 1.5 million. So the Tiggo 8 Pro's 1.69 million peso price tag is starting to look more and more reasonable. The Tiggo 8 Pro comes in 3 variants, with this 1.6 being the most affordable. There's also a 2-liter all-wheel drive variant, which sells for 1.9 million pesos, and a PHEV variant, which sells for 2.5. This video, though, is just about the 1.6, and in this video, we'll try to deconstruct what makes it stand out this 2023. Let's start with the styling. Now, styling is of course subjective, but what I like about the styling of the Tiggo 8 is that it manages to be a 7-seater while not looking overly bloated or overly boxy like some of its competitors, like the Okavango for example. I think this looks sleeker and sexier, especially when you see it from the side or from the back. It kind of reminds me of a Porsche Cayenne, especially from the back. Now, even though it looks sleeker, it just has the right touch of macho, so it still looks like a proper SUV. Like, you get these moderately flared fenders over here. You get a chunky looking rear end. You get a short front overhang and this relatively aggressive looking front. Now, Chery has unified their design language, so almost all of their crossovers look very similar at the front. They all get the same gloss black grille with these chrome accents sprinkled on it. These are LED headlamps with LED DRLs. You get LED fog lamps down here, and you get plenty of sensors all around the car, as this has one of the most sophisticated ADAS systems in its segment. All variants of the Tiggo 8 Pro come with 18-inch wheels wrapped in Cooper tires. They also get disc brakes and independent suspension on all 4 corners. You get dual exhaust tips, and both of them are somewhat real. So if you look down here, you'll see the actual exhaust tip at the center. Overall, the Tiggo 8 Pro is a good-looking crossover. And I also like the fact that a lot of the styling is functional. Like, a lot of the air vents are real, the exhaust tips are real. Almost all crossovers in this class put a lot of emphasis on styling though. And the Tiggo 8 Pro styling leans more towards the safe side. It doesn't look experimental, it's not overly aggressive, it's not overly futuristic either. So it doesn't really stand out in terms of looks in that sense, even though it's a good-looking crossover. This comes with the power liftgate. Now you can open this using the key fob or by pressing a button on the dashboard. You can also stand behind it, like so, for a couple of seconds. And then it automatically opens. Cargo space is one area where the Tiggo 8 Pro does not excel, at least compared to other 7-seater crossovers. With the third row seats up, it has 210 liters of cargo space, which is barely enough to fit a couple of backpacks. To be fair though, most 7-seater crossovers in the class also don't have a lot of space behind the third row. The Okavango, for example, has 257 liters of cargo space, which is more than the Tiggo 8 Pro, but not by a lot. If you fold the third row seats of the Tiggo 8 Pro though, you get 1,179 liters of cargo space, which is a lot. I think the Tiggo 8 Pro has one of the nicest interiors at this price bracket. Not just compared to other 7-seater crossovers, but also compared to anything else in general. And this is one area where it stands out this 2023. The seats are some of the best in the segment. They're covered in very supple leather dyed in brown. Both front seats are power adjustable. The driver's seat gets adjustable lumbar support. And not only that, this also gets 3-person memory settings. So if you have more than one driver in the family, you can save the settings of each driver so you don't have to adjust the seat every time you get in. And not only that, these are also heated and cooled. And I believe these are the only seats in this class that comes with these butterfly headrests, which are not only very, very soft, they also support your head when you're sleeping, so you don't sway from side to side. These are definitely the best seats in this class. Now, in terms of materials, almost everything that you can touch is covered in soft touch materials. Like the top of the dashboard is soft touch. This over here, I believe, is leather wrapped. You get the same supple leather here on the door sidings and also on the armrests. The steering wheel is also covered in the same supple leather. You also get this ambient lighting which matches the music that you're playing. If I had to nitpick, I'm not a fan of the center console over here. Now, usually I don't mind piano black accents on a car, but I think this is a bit too much. Like, the entire surface of this is covered in piano black. Now, while it looks good, it's definitely a scratch magnet, and definitely don't think of putting your phone anywhere on the surface as it'll scratch it. Now, it's not really a deal breaker because you can cover this with a protective film. Yeah, as long as you're careful with it and you protect it, it's not really an issue. So another annoyance is that these buttons over here, it's hard to operate them without having to look at them. And since they're down here, you'll really have to look away from the road. Now, luckily, these are not really essential. Now, in terms of tech, you get this huge and very sharp 12-inch screen. This also gets a very sharp-looking 360 camera. You get another screen down here, which is exclusively for your climate control settings. This gets dual-zone climate control. Now, it may look like all the buttons are on the screen, but you actually get physical buttons over here for adjusting your fan speed and temperature. The front of the Tiggo 8 Pro looks nice, but the VIP would definitely feel most comfortable here at the back. Now, I have plenty of legroom already. That's about 6 inches, 7 inches. But if I need more legroom, I can do this. So now I have ridiculous amounts of legroom over here. Now, in this price bracket, I believe this is the only car that has that feature. The back of the seats also recline quite a bit. So in this position, I feel like I'm on a lazy boy. And with the panoramic sunroof on top of me, it's just an experience that you can't get on other crossovers in the same price bracket. You also get 2 aircon vents over there, 1 USB port, a foldable armrest, which is also nicely padded. It also has 2 cup holders. You get the same materials here as the front. This is also soft touch over here. This is leather wrapped. This also has a feature which alerts you if there's an oncoming car on your side, so you don't open the door onto oncoming traffic. Definitely the nicest second row in this price bracket. If you want something nicer, you'd have to get a 6-seater CX-8, which is a lot more expensive. One area where the Tiggo 8 Pro excels is tech. It's one of the most techy 7-seater crossovers that you can buy for under 2 million pesos. Unlike other Chinese crossovers, this comes with both Apple CarPlay and Android Auto, and that alone should make it stand out among its Chinese peers, but it also offers more. While more expensive 7-seater crossovers like the Okavango lack ADAS features, the Tiggo 8 Pro comes with a full shebang. It's capable of level 2 autonomous driving. Okay, so we're now on the highway. I have adaptive cruise turned on. I have lane keep assist turned on. As you can see, it's automatically, the car is automatically steering itself, trying to follow the lines on the road. And even on this kind of weather, it's still working. Although lane keep assist really is meant to be a driver assist feature, you're still supposed to put your hand on the wheel at all times. But just for demonstration purposes, I'm showing you that it is actually steering itself. It's trying to follow this curve on the road, as you can see. And also my feet are not doing anything. Now it asks me to put my hand on the wheel from time to time. So you can just put your hand here and the car will automatically steer itself. But as I always say, you always have to have your attention on the road so you can intervene if ever necessary. Okay, let's move to a different lane. So the thing about lane keep assist is that it will not let you move to a different lane without using the turn signal, or at least it will try to resist your steering input. So if I try to move to a different lane now, there is a bit of resistance, but you can still do it. If you activate your turn signal, like so, then you can turn the wheel without any resistance. Definitely these features are very useful when you're on a long road trip, as you get to rest your left foot for a considerable amount of time. But I think it's even more useful in stop and go traffic because your feet do a lot more work in stop and go traffic. So the adaptive cruise control as well as the lane keep assist system of the Tiggo 8 Pro are usable on the highway as well as on the city. As you can see, we're driving at city speeds right now. I'm doing about 38 kph. And everything is still working. The lane keep assist is still working, and the adaptive cruise is still working. This will allow you to come to a complete stop and then resume again without intervention from the driver. So you can see it should come to a complete stop right now, if that car comes to a complete stop as well. There we go. The Tiggo 8 Pro also has traffic sign recognition, which can read traffic signs like those that indicate the speed limit, so it can alert you if you're overspeeding. Aside from ADAS, it also has heated and cooled seats, of course a 360 camera, 3% seat memory settings, 8-way adjustable seats. It comes with almost everything that you could ask for on a modern vehicle. Now, I wouldn't exactly call the Tiggo 8 Pro a sporty crossover, but it is pretty quick for what it is. I was able to do 0 to 100 kph in 8.5 seconds, which is very quick for a 7-seater crossover. It's quicker than the Okavango, and 1.5 seconds quicker than the smaller and supposedly more sporty MG ZST. Its 7-speed dual clutch is also one of the better dual clutch transmissions in the market, shifting quickly and smoothly when you have to accelerate, while also not feeling jerky in stop and go traffic. If the steering ratio was a bit quicker and the suspension was a bit stiffer, this would feel like a very sporty crossover. So compared to other 7-seater crossovers in this price bracket, it does stand out in terms of driving enjoyment. Now I got about 15.5 kpl on the highway and about 10 kpl in the city, which is okay for the vehicle's size and power. It doesn't stand out though, as at this price you have more fuel efficient options and you can even buy hybrids. The Tiggo 8 Pro is a testament to how far Chinese cars have come. It's not just good because it's affordable, it's not just good for the price, it is just good. Really good. It feels more premium, more refined, and is a lot better equipped than most mainstream Japanese crossovers under 2.5 million pesos, with the exception of Mazda's higher-end crossovers. Now, I understand that there's still a stigma attached to Chinese cars, especially when it comes to reliability. Chery also understands that, and that is why they're willing to back up their products with the best warranty in the business. The Tiggo 8 Pro comes with 7 years or 200,000 kilometers of bumper-to-bumper warranty. It also comes with 3 years of free PMS. I'd say no matter which brand you buy, there's always a chance that you'll encounter problems. But with warranty, you have something solid to hold on to other than statistical figures.